My name's Melissa Anderson. For 27 years, I played the role of the perfect daughter and sister, only to become my family's convenient target. But that's not the end of my story. What happens when the ones you love most turn against you? When their accusations shatter your world? What do you do when you realize the only way to survive is to walk away from everything you've ever known? Stick around to find out. If you're intrigued, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about finding strength in the most unexpected places. My earliest memories of family life were complicated. Growing up in Portland in a modest two-story home, we seemed like the perfect American family. Dad ran a furniture store, Mom worked part-time, and us kids, Tyler, Rachel, and me, were always busy. But behind closed doors, a pattern emerged early on. When I was 5, Tyler broke Mom's favorite crystal vase and instantly blamed me. Even though I was in another room, my parents believed him. That hollow ache of being blamed for something I didn't do became a familiar feeling. As years passed, it only intensified. If grades slipped, it was my fault for distracting everyone with music. If money was tight, somehow my dance lessons were the problem, despite Tyler's more expensive football gear. Dad's bad moods meant I had to be invisible. Any little thing I did could set him off. Mom's favorite phrase became, "You always have to make everything about you," whenever I tried to defend myself. I swallowed the hurt, determined to prove my worth through achievements. By high school, I had a 4.0 GPA, was class president, and volunteered on weekends. Mrs. Jenkins, my guidance counselor, saw my potential, suggesting Stanford. But at home, my excitement was met with Dad's worry about costs, especially with Tyler's college fund. Always dreaming too big, Mom sighed. I did get into Stanford with a substantial scholarship. But the night my acceptance arrived, my parents were focused on Tyler's rejection from his first-choice school. My news felt inconvenient. Dad's first question was about the cost. Stanford became my sanctuary. I made real friends for the first time. But even hundreds of miles away, I was still blamed. "Ever since you left, your sister's grades have dropped," Mom informed me. After graduation, I returned to Portland, still hoping for their approval. I got a marketing job and rented a small apartment. Weekly family dinners resumed. At 24, I tried to address the scapegoating. During a tense Sunday dinner, after being blamed for forgotten dessert ingredients, I carefully stated, "It seems like whenever something goes wrong, I get blamed, even when it's not my fault." The reaction was dismissive, accusatory. I never brought it up again. By 27, I was a senior marketing strategist, finally building boundaries with my family, with the help of therapy. A promotion to head a new Seattle branch was thrilling, but met with Dad's disappointment. "So you're abandoning the family business?" Anderson Furniture was struggling. Despite everything, I offered to help, creating a new website and marketing campaigns. Sales improved slightly, but deeper financial problems surfaced. The books revealed multiple high-interest loans and a cash flow crisis. When I presented my findings, Dad was defensive. They reluctantly followed some of my advice, applying for refinancing. I ended up co-signing a loan, a decision I'd later regret. 3 months in, I noticed large cash withdrawals from the business account. 2 weeks later, Mom's frantic call, the account was almost empty, a payment bounced, Dad was gone. He'd been gambling away everything. A text from Mom. "Family meeting tomorrow night at 6. Very important." The tone was ominous. The next evening, I arrived to a house packed with extended family. The accusations started immediately. The website, the marketing, the loan, all my fault. They twisted my words, ignored facts, and blamed me for everything. Then Dad's cold decree. "You ruined our lives, Melissa. Get out and don't come back." Mom's silent dismissal followed. I walked out, leaving everything behind. The drive home was a blur. Back in my apartment, the weight of it all crashed down. "You ruined our lives. Get out." Sleep offered no escape. I replayed every memory, the pattern glaringly obvious.
Had I simply accepted being the family scapegoat? What if I just left? Truly extricated myself. The thought was terrifying and exhilarating. I requested a week of emergency vacation. "Take the time you need," Veronica said, mentioning the Seattle position. My heart leapt.
I spent the week researching relocation, breaking my lease, finding an apartment in Seattle. Changing my phone number felt drastic, but necessary. Scrolling through guilt-tripping texts confirmed it. I secured my finances, gathered important documents, and made lists. A voice of doubt whispered, "Overreacting? Mistake? Family, however dysfunctional, is family." An emergency session with Dr. Miles confirmed the scapegoating dynamic. Your family has collectively decided that you're responsible for their problems. I wasn't crazy. "What do you want, Melissa?" she asked. "Peace." The transfer to Seattle was immediate. I sold furniture, donated belongings, packed my car. My final night, I wrote a letter. "I've accepted that in your minds, I will always be to blame. I can't change that, but I can remove myself from it. Please don't try to contact me. I wish you well." I included Dr. Miles' contact information. The next morning, I mailed the letter, turned in my keys, and drove north. Grief, fear, and a surprising wave of relief washed over me. For the first time in 27 years, I was free. Seattle greeted me with rain. My temporary Airbnb was in Capitol Hill. Doubt crept in. Had I overreacted? Cutting off contact too extreme? I reached for my phone, then remembered. No going back. Panic seized me. I made a plan. Remote work, find an apartment, establish a routine. At a nearby coffee shop, Sophia, the barista, helped with the Wi-Fi. "First time in Seattle, actually," I admitted. "Welcome, I'm Sophia. Fresh start? Seattle's full of transplants reinventing themselves." That simple exchange was my first connection. I returned each morning, Sophia introducing me to her partner Adam and their friends. Remote work was smooth. Finding an apartment was harder, but I eventually found a one-bedroom in Ballard. My minimal possessions highlighted how much I'd left behind. This new space was a blank canvas. Standing in HomeGoods, overwhelmed by choices, I realized how long I'd suppressed my own preferences. What did I actually like? Therapy continued via video call, focusing on rediscovering my authentic self. I began experimenting. Spicy Thai food, loved it. Classical piano and indie folk, comforting and joyful. Pottery, initially mocked by Dad, but creating an imperfect bowl brought unexpected pride. My neighbor, Diana Rodriguez, noticed my pottery and invited me for tea, sharing her embroidery. "Art saves us," she said. Diana became another connection. Guilt and doubt still surfaced. Father's Day ads, seeing mothers and daughters triggered pangs of loss. Nightmares of accusing faces left me gasping. 3 months in, after a minor work review, I almost booked a flight back to Portland. A text from Sophia. "Poetry slam at Cafe Racer." That casual invitation reminded me of the new life I was building. I declined the flights and went to the slam, connecting with Jessica, who shared her story of leaving an abusive relationship. Our dynamics differed, family versus partner, but the feeling of being undervalued and blamed resonated deeply. "The hardest part is stopping yourself from going back," she said. "Each morning you wake up and choose yourself is a victory." As spring turned to summer, victories accumulated. Hikes with Sophia's friends, weekend road trips, volunteering at an animal shelter. The Seattle office opened. Veronica observed I seemed different, more confident. "Whatever you left behind in Portland, I'm glad you did." 1 month after leaving Portland, I felt settled enough for a new phone. At the store, I impulsively asked to check my old number. 53 missed calls, 26 voicemails, 89 texts, all from my family. Anger turned to confusion, then worry. The final messages, Dad's subdued request to talk about the business, Mom's tearful plea to know I was safe, Rachel's rare direct message, "It's bad, Melissa.
Whatever you're mad about, this is bigger. Please call. The last text from Tyler. Dad's been arrested. Please, sis, we need you. Arrested? Conflicting emotions warred within me. Back in my apartment, the texts hinted at bank investigations, fraud charges, asset seizure. I logged onto social media. The furniture store had closed. Dad faced criminal charges for gambling and fraudulent loan applications. Rachel's bitter post blamed me, but the comments told a different story. The business had been failing long before. Dad's gambling an open secret. The narrative had unraveled. This should have felt like vindication, but instead I felt hollow. Vindication rarely feels the way we expect it to, Dr. Miles had said.
The next day, a Portland number flashed on my work phone. Melissa Anderson? Finally, Rachel's voice. Do you know how many marketing firms I've called? You need to come home. Dad's case goes to court next week. The lawyer says we need character witnesses. Plus, the bank is asking about that loan you co-signed. No hello, no apology, demands and accusations. Rachel, I said carefully, I'm not coming back to Portland. Of course you are. This is family. The same family that told me I ruined their lives and to get out? A pause. That was just Dad being upset. I know how he gets. That's why I left. So you're just abandoning us? I didn't create this situation, Rachel. Dad's gambling and financial decisions did. I'm sorry he's in trouble, but I can't fix this. Your name is on that loan. A loan that I advised against, that I put conditions on, conditions that were ignored. I've already spoken to my own lawyer. Another pause. You got a lawyer? Yes, to protect myself. The bank already has my statement regarding the loan and Dad's concealment of his gambling. So you're testifying against Dad? Her disbelief was palpable. I'm telling the truth, Rachel, something our family has never been very good at. The conversation devolved into familiar tactics: guilt, accusations, emotional manipulation, then threats. Stay away if that's what you want, but don't think you can just start over. We know where you work. Don't be surprised if your boss gets some interesting information. A chill ran through me. Are you threatening me? Just saying, actions have consequences. You turned your back on family, that means you're not protected anymore. Shaken, I went to Veronica's office explaining everything. She listened intently. Thank you for telling me this. It can't have been easy. I didn't want any surprises. Melissa, Veronica interrupted gently, your work speaks for itself. Nothing your sister might say could change what I already know about you as a professional. Relief washed over me. Family complications are complicated, but they're also private. As far as I'm concerned, your relocation was a professional decision that's benefited our Seattle office. The rest is your business. A final text on my new number, forwarded from the old one. This isn't over. No signature. I deleted it. In a way, Rachel was right. It wasn't over entirely, but my family no longer held the power to define me. 6 months later, Seattle felt like home. My apartment reflected my personality. I adopted a rescue cat, Milo. My circle of friends grew. I'd found my rhythm, my voice, my peace. The legal aftermath played out through my lawyer. I provided documents establishing I'd been misled about the business. A partial repayment plan was manageable. Then an email from Mom. Coming to Seattle next weekend for a medical consultation. Would you consider meeting for coffee? Just me, no expectations. After talking to Dr. Miles, I agreed to a 30-minute meeting. When Mom walked in, I barely recognized her. We sat, an awkward silence hanging between us. Your father was sentenced last month. 2 years, mostly probation. The business is gone. We had to sell the house. I heard, I said neutrally. We're living in an apartment now, smaller than what we're used to. I'm sorry things have been difficult, I said, meaning it. You really are, aren't you? She asked, searching my face. Even after how we treated you? I nodded. I don't understand you, Melissa. I never have. You are always so different, so willing to take the blame. People can only bend so far before they break, or before they stand up straight. Stand up straight, she echoed softly. I wanted to blame you when you left, she admitted. It was easier than facing the truth about your father, the business, my own part in it. This acknowledgement was unprecedented. Rachel still blames you, she continued. Tyler too, somewhat. It's easier than accepting that our family had problems long before.
And you? I asked, holding my breath. I've had a lot of time to think, and I've realized that we did to you what my family did to me. I promised myself I'd never do that to my children, but somehow we fell into the same pattern. It wasn't quite an apology, but it was close. What happens now? I asked, holding my breath. I don't know. That's up to you, I suppose. I just needed to see that you're okay. I am okay, I confirmed. Better than okay, actually. We talked longer, carefully. When our 30 minutes were up, I signaled for the check. Would you be open to talking again sometime? Maybe phone calls to start? I'd be open to occasional calls, I said carefully, but I need you to understand something. I'm building a life here that's healthy for me. I can't go back to the family dynamic we had before. I understand, she said.
Over the following months, cautious communication began. Short phone calls, neutral topics at first. My father remained unrepentant, suggesting I return to rebuild the family name. That wouldn't be healthy for either of us, Dad, I said. He hung up bitterly. Tyler remained distant. Rachel vacillated between anger and pleas. During a hike with friends, Jessica's brother Michael's situation echoed my own. He was his roommate's scapegoat. I met him for coffee. He was full of self-doubt and internalized blame. I shared what I'd learned. Relationships should make you feel valued, not diminished. Real friends, real family, help you grow, not tear you down. This realization was a turning point. I began volunteering with a support group for adults from dysfunctional families. A year after leaving Portland, I stood on the Seattle waterfront, reflecting. The pain might never disappear entirely, but it no longer defined me. A text from Mom. Thinking of you today. Hope you're well. No demands, no guilt. I am. Thank you. Hope you are too. Healing wasn't about resolution, but about finding peace within myself. Have you ever had to walk away from a relationship that continuously diminished you? How did you find the strength to choose yourself? Share your experience in the comments below, and if this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need to hear they're not alone in their struggle. Thank you for listening to my story.